If you're interested in seeing me toss this into a bucket of water, I do that. But next week's video is more oriented to me actually playing around with this stuff. So subscribe to see that video and leave some comments if you like me to do something specific with this stuff. This is my setup. I got my vacuum for the air. I got the igniter. This actually regulator is too weak, that's why I have to force the air. But it's actually really good on the efficiency of the propane. This is my control right here. Over here we got the salt I'll be melting today. And I already melted some using the little torch. I realized the pan takes a lot of the heat away. And my stand. Alright, let's get started. Gonna clean this out while that preheats. I'll go grab a hammer. Got a hammer? Clean this out. Metal's really soft, quite rusted in that area. Gonna start off with fresh new salt. I decided to go with the furnace on low at first because it's gonna thermal shock, it's gonna crack all my cement. The sodium silicate mixed in with my cement, but it still cracks very easily. So I'm gonna start it off with a nice slow heat and then crank it up. That's a bad, killing the air. That's a perfect seal with that cement. So I'm just gonna have to let the air out. I'm gonna try just turning the heat on now. Choke's fully choked. I blew it out. Slight remodel. I flipped it all around. It gives it more time to burn. That way it doesn't just escape out the top. I've been burning out the bottom. That's where a lot of my heat's escaping. So, fold it up. I'd actually like to close that off a lot more. I'm gonna try to slide this underneath, but that's gonna require another hand. Alright, a lot of dumb stuff later. I got it to burn clear. You can hear it rumbling in there. It throws off a lot of heat. I'm worried about my camera. See it over there? Sorry it's so loud. I'll probably have to voice over this. Started melting. And here I am. Yeah, I decided to pull out the torch here and speed the process up. And I think this was a big mistake. It really was only running for 5 minutes. I honestly love the way this recedes when it starts to melt. It reminded me of snow melting, and it kind of inspired me to make a snowman. My poor phone. Like ice melting. Somehow the flame died. I figured it out. You see that brass part there? Well, that sucks in air from the atmosphere, but whenever I put it over that vent, all the oxygen was burned up from the furnace. so there's no oxygen going to my flame. Let me show you that surface melt again. Let me zoom in. Picked up a lot of the paint from the pot. A lot of melted water in here. See if I can melt a little bit more. If I add this to the water there. It doesn't take long now that it's up to temperature. See how cool it just cools off through the air. Been off now for a few minutes. Still really hot. Don't want to stay over it too long. It was redder than this, but once it reaches temperature, it melts the salt very quickly. I don't expect this to last more than 2 or 3 more burns, even with the sodium silicate. Cement does not like these temperatures. Well, I had a ton of fun today. I know the camera guy really sucked at his job. I had a snowman I poured the molten salt onto, but it just showed the top. I left the camera on zoom, my fault. But it's fine. The main purpose of today's shoot was actually to watch this melt, because I really want to see it melt up top where I can look at it instead of submerged in the fire, so I can actually watch it melt, see how it looked like when it's actually melting. But next time I'm gonna actually make more of it. I have roughly 350 pounds of this chlorine salt sitting on my porch. So I'm gonna definitely use some of that up, make a lot of this stuff, and pour it onto maybe a bigger snowman. When I poured it into the bucket, the audio wasn't fully captured by the camera. In fact, it was louder than I expected. It was being drowned out by the background noise of the vacuum cleaner and the torch. But I'll definitely have to work on that, trying to capture the audio right. Oh, so what's this other stuff you say? This is also a salt. This one is actually sodium nitrate. This is, yeah, nitrate, not nitrite, nitrate. This is flammable because there's oxygen. I think there's like 2 oxygens per molecule. So it's flammable. It's an oxidizer, I believe. It's used in making beef jerky and maybe making bacon. It really gives those products their flavor. So whenever you eat like a zingy piece of bacon or beef jerky that has a very specific taste, this is the stuff they use for it. But as you can see, it's a little bit more dangerous than this stuff. But now what's even more dangerous than this is this stuff. Oops. That right there isn't a salt, that one's a base. Alright, I put it back on the table. This is actually really dangerous when it melts. This can eat flesh. It's used to make soap. It's 100% lye, which means it's... Sorry, I kind of missed chemistry in high school. Hard to explain. It's sodium hydroxide. This is not a salt because salt is only made when an acid and a base neutralize each other, and that's a salt. There's even like copper salts and stuff like that. There's a lot of weird salts out there. But even though this is sodium, just like these two, there's a whole bunch of sodium salts out there. Sodium fluoride, sodium hydroxide, I think. There's a lot of sodium salts. Why did I... This is not a salt, hydroxide. Ugh. Chemistry. Okay. Dangerous when hot. Dangerous when not hot. I will be melting it eventually. But next I'll be melting this, more of this, get some better camera shots. I really did not like my camera editing. But like I said, the main point of this today was only to melt the salt and see it melt. I'll do some more fun stuff with it next time. The whole point of me doing this whole table bit skit here is to say like and subscribe, which I forgot to do. So unlike me, please remember to like, subscribe, and leave comments in the section below.